Introduction to the Galactic Confederation. In the vast expanse of the universe, where stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky, lay the Galactic Confederation, a coalition of diverse species united by a shared goal: exploration and understanding of life beyond their own worlds. Among these species, each with unique traits and abilities, one stood out for its sheer unpredictability: humans. On board the research vessel Curiosity, a state-of-the-art ship equipped with advanced technology, and a crew of scientists from various planets, excitement buzzed in the air. The vessel was renowned for its groundbreaking studies on newly discovered life forms, but today marked a significant milestone. It was the first time humans were being studied in depth by extraterrestrial beings. Dr. Sarah Chen, a brilliant xenobiologist and the sole human representative on board, had volunteered for this unprecedented mission. With her keen intellect and adventurous spirit, she was eager to bridge the gap between her species and these alien researchers. However, as she entered the recreational lounge for her first briefing, she couldn't shake off a feeling of trepidation. The lounge was alive with chatter and laughter from various alien species, each more bizarre than the last. In one corner, a group of insectoid beings clicked their mandibles in amusement while observing a holographic display showcasing human behavior. Sarah felt a mix of pride and anxiety as she approached them, aware that her presence would soon be scrutinized. "Ah, our fragile little friend has arrived," chirped Zyla, an excitable cephalopod-like creature whose skin pulsed with vibrant colors. "We were just discussing how humans are like globworms attempting to solve complex equations." The room erupted in laughter, but Sarah maintained her composure. She had anticipated some ridicule. After all, humans were often viewed as primitive compared to these advanced civilizations. "I hope you're ready for some surprises," she replied with a playful smile. Captain Krahan, an imposing insectoid with a shimmering carapace, raised his claw for silence. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his voice resonating through the lounge, "tomorrow we commence our comprehensive study of human physiology." As he spoke about stress tests designed to assess human limits, Sarah's heart raced with both excitement and apprehension. She knew that while humans were often underestimated as fragile beings, they possessed an innate resilience that could challenge even the most advanced species. After Krahan concluded his speech, Sarah cleared her throat to address her alien colleagues. "I couldn't help but overhear your fascinating discussion about my species," she said lightly. A mix of curiosity and embarrassment rippled through the room as all eyes turned toward her. "I assure you," she continued with a smirk, "humans are far more resilient than you might think." The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. They seemed intrigued yet skeptical. Zyla floated closer, her tentacles waving excitedly. "Oh, really? What makes you say that?" Sarah leaned forward slightly, her tone shifting to one of earnestness. "Let me tell you about something we call extreme sports." A hush fell over the room as she began her tale. "Picture this: a human standing at the edge of a cliff thousands of feet above ground," she narrated dramatically. "The wind howls around them as they prepare to jump into oblivion." Gasps echoed among her audience as they envisioned such reckless behavior. "Do you know what happens next?" Sarah paused for effect, watching their expressions morph from shock to disbelief. "They leap off. We call it base jumping." The room erupted into chaos. Aliens chittered nervously, while others flailed their appendages in distress at the thought of such danger. Captain Krahan raised his claws for silence once more. "Dr. Chen," he said cautiously, "surely you jest. That is suicide." Sarah chuckled softly but remained resolute. "Not at all. We wear specialized suits that allow us to glide through the air like birds." She could see their skepticism beginning to wane as curiosity took hold. "But here's where it gets interesting," she continued, leaning in conspiratorially. "Even when accidents happen, when parachutes fail or trajectories miscalculate, humans climb right back up that cliff and jump again." The aliens stared at her in stunned silence. Their preconceived notions about human fragility were beginning to unravel before their eyes. Krahan's mandibles clicked thoughtfully as he processed this information. And this is common among your kind. Not everyone engages in extreme sports, Sarah admitted with a shrug. But we tend to push our limits in many aspects of life. As she spoke about resilience, the ability to adapt and thrive despite challenges, she noticed a shift in their demeanor from mockery to genuine intrigue. They were beginning to see humanity not as fragile creatures, but as beings capable of extraordinary feats. Perhaps, Dr. Xylo interjected hesitantly, we should reconsider our approach to tomorrow's tests. Sarah smiled inwardly. She had successfully piqued their interest in humanity's true nature. As discussions sparked among the aliens about potential experiments that could test human limits further than they had initially planned, Sarah felt a sense of triumph wash over her. Little did they know that tomorrow would not only challenge their understanding of human resilience, but also reveal aspects of humanity that would leave them astounded, and perhaps even fearful, of what Deathworlders could truly achieve when pushed to their limits. As she left the lounge that evening, Sarah couldn't help but chuckle softly at how perceptions could change so rapidly. Tomorrow would be an adventure unlike any other, a chance for humanity to shine brightly amidst the stars and show these aliens just how strong Deathworlders could be when faced with challenges beyond imagination. The first encounter. As dawn broke over the Curiosity, the ship hummed with anticipation. Dr. Sarah Chen awoke to the gentle vibrations of the vessel, a reminder that today was not just another day. It was the beginning of an unprecedented exploration into human resilience. She dressed quickly, her mind racing with thoughts of what lay ahead. Would her alien colleagues truly grasp the complexities of human strength, or would they remain trapped in their preconceived notions? The recreational lounge was already buzzing when Sarah arrived. Aliens of all shapes and sizes congregated, their excitement palpable. Xyla, the cephalopod-like scientist, waved her tentacles in greeting. Dr. Chen, are you ready for today's tests? I can hardly contain myself. Ready as I'll ever be, Sarah replied, a mix of eagerness and nerves fluttering in her stomach. She had spent countless hours preparing for this moment, knowing that every action would be scrutinized under the watchful eyes of her alien peers. Captain Krahan stood at the front of the room, his imposing figure casting a shadow over the gathering. Esteemed colleagues, he began, his voice booming yet steady, today we embark on our first comprehensive study of human physiology. We shall commence with basic stress tests to observe their reactions under pressure. The room erupted in applause and excited chatter. Sarah felt a surge of adrenaline. This was her moment to showcase what humans could endure. The stress tests begin. The first test was simple. A controlled environment designed to simulate extreme conditions. The aliens had created a chamber filled with fluctuating temperatures and varying levels of gravity. Sarah stepped inside, taking a deep breath as the door sealed behind her. Begin, Krahan commanded, and the chamber came alive with lights and sounds. The temperature dropped suddenly, sending a chill through Sarah's body. She could feel her muscles tense as she adapted to the cold. Impressive, Xyla exclaimed from outside the chamber. Look at how she adjusts. As the gravity shifted, Sarah felt herself being pulled down harder than usual. It was challenging, but she focused on her breathing, channeling every ounce of determination she possessed. She remembered her training, how humans often thrived in adversity. Minutes passed like hours, but Sarah remained resolute. The chamber's lights flickered as it reached its peak intensity, a final test to see how long she could endure. Just when she thought she might falter, she pushed through, driven by an innate desire to prove herself. When the door finally opened, Sarah stumbled out but stood tall, a triumphant smile on her face. The aliens erupted into applause once more, their laughter and cheers echoing through the lounge. A moment of reflection. Remarkable, Dr. Xylo exclaimed, her bioluminescent skin glowing brighter with excitement. You've exceeded our expectations. Just wait until you see what else we can do, Sarah replied playfully, her confidence growing with each passing moment. Next came a series of physical challenges designed to test agility and strength, obstacle courses that would push even the most seasoned athletes to their limits. As Sarah navigated through hurdles and climbing walls, she felt alive, each movement fueled by adrenaline and purpose. The aliens watched closely, their eyes wide with fascination as she tackled each obstacle with grace and determination. They began to murmur among themselves, exchanging glances that spoke volumes about their changing perceptions. "Perhaps humans are not as fragile as we thought," one alien whispered. The unexpected twist. Just when it seemed like Sarah had proven her point, an unexpected twist occurred. During one particularly tricky maneuver, a leap across a gap, she miscalculated and slipped. Time slowed as she fell toward what seemed like certain doom. But instead of panic setting in, something remarkable happened. Instinct kicked in. With a swift motion, Sarah managed to grab onto a nearby ledge just in time. She pulled herself up with sheer willpower and determination. The aliens gasped collectively. Their expressions shifted from horror to awe in an instant. Captain Crahan's mandibles clicked rapidly as he processed what he had just witnessed. "Did you see that?" he exclaimed incredulously. She not only survived but adapted mid-fall. As Sarah regained her composure and continued through the course, she could sense a shift in atmosphere among her alien colleagues. They were no longer merely observers. They were students witnessing an extraordinary display of human resilience. Breaking down barriers. After completing the obstacle course, Sarah took a moment to catch her breath while the aliens engaged in animated discussions about what they had just witnessed. "Dr. Chen," Crahan said finally, his tone now respectful rather than condescending, "you have shown us that humans possess an incredible ability to adapt under pressure." Sarah smiled at this acknowledgement. It was everything she had hoped for and more. "We thrive on challenges," she replied earnestly. "It's part of who we are." Zyla floated closer, her tentacles swirling with excitement. "What other challenges can you face?" "We must design something even more rigorous." With newfound respect for humanity's capabilities swirling around them like an electric current, ideas began to flow freely among the aliens about future tests, ones that would push boundaries even further. A new challenge awaits. As discussions continued into the evening about potential experiments that could further explore human resilience, both physical and mental, Sarah felt a sense of pride swell within her chest. She had turned skepticism into curiosity and laughter into respect. "Perhaps we should consider endurance trials next," one alien suggested eagerly. "Yes, and problem-solving tasks under pressure," another chimed in. Sarah listened intently as they brainstormed ideas that would challenge not only her physical limits, but also her mental fortitude, a true testament to human ingenuity. Finally, after hours of discussion filled with enthusiasm and camaraderie, Captain Crahan raised his claw for silence once more. "Tomorrow will mark another significant step in our research," he announced gravely yet excitedly. "Let us prepare for challenges beyond anything we have encountered before." As everyone began to disperse for the night, Sarah couldn't shake off a feeling of exhilaration mixed with anticipation for what lay ahead. Tomorrow would be another chance for humanity to demonstrate its strength, a chance for Deathworlders to show just how formidable they truly were. Little did they know that this journey would not only reveal human resilience, but also forge bonds between species that transcended mere scientific inquiry, a testament to what cooperation could achieve when faced with challenges together. With thoughts racing through her mind about tomorrow's trials and how they might unfold, Sarah turned off the lights in her quarters and settled into bed for a restless night filled with dreams of soaring through challenges yet unseen, ready to embrace whatever awaited them in this grand cosmic adventure together. The challenge begins. The morning sun bathed the Curiosity in a warm glow, signaling the start of what promised to be an exhilarating day. Dr. Sarah Chen awoke with a sense of purpose, her mind racing with thoughts of the challenges ahead. Today, the aliens would witness firsthand the true strength and resilience of humanity, and she was determined to show them just how formidable Deathworlders could be. As Sarah made her way to the recreational lounge, she could hear the excited chatter of her alien colleagues. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, each creature eager to see how their human test subject would fare under pressure. Captain Krahan stood at the center of the room, his compound eyes scanning the gathered crowd. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his voice resonating with authority. "Today marks a pivotal moment in our research. We will engage in a series of trials designed to test both physical and mental resilience." The aliens erupted into cheers, their excitement palpable. Sarah felt a rush of adrenaline. This was her moment to shine. The first trial, the obstacle course. The first challenge was an elaborate obstacle course set up in a spacious chamber aboard the ship. It featured towering walls, swinging pendulums, and narrow beams suspended above a pit filled with soft foam, safeguarding against any potential injuries. As Sarah surveyed the course, she couldn't help but feel a thrill at the prospect of tackling it. "Are you ready, Dr. Chen?" Zyla asked, her tentacles quivering with excitement. "Ready as I'll ever be," Sarah replied confidently. She took her position at the starting line, feeling the eyes of her alien peers upon her. "On your mark," Krahan called out, raising his claw. "Get set. Go." With that command, Sarah launched herself forward. The first wall loomed ahead, and she leaped with all her might, grabbing onto the top edge and pulling herself up. The aliens gasped collectively. They had expected her to struggle. As she navigated through the course, ducking under swinging obstacles and balancing on narrow beams, Sarah felt exhilarated. Each movement was fluid and confident, showcasing not only her physical strength, but also her mental agility. "Remarkable," one alien exclaimed as Sarah deftly maneuvered through a particularly tricky section involving rotating platforms. "She's like a gazelle." The mental challenge. Puzzle under pressure. After completing the obstacle course with surprising speed and grace, Sarah was met with enthusiastic applause from her alien colleagues. But there was little time for rest. Next came a mental challenge designed to test her problem-solving skills under pressure. The aliens led her to a separate chamber filled with holographic displays and intricate puzzles that required quick thinking and creativity. As she entered, Sarah felt a wave of determination wash over her. This was another opportunity to demonstrate human resilience. "Your task is simple," Krahan explained. "You must solve these puzzles while enduring increasing levels of stress." With that, the first puzzle appeared. A complex series of interconnected shapes that needed to be rearranged within a time limit. As soon as she began working on it, loud noises filled the room. Mechanical sounds designed to simulate chaos and distraction. Sarah focused intently on the puzzle, blocking out the noise around her. Her heart raced as she moved pieces into place quickly but methodically. Time seemed to blur as she lost herself in the challenge. 10 seconds left. Zyla called out excitedly from outside the chamber. With one final push, Sarah completed the puzzle just as time expired. The room erupted into cheers once again. It was clear that she had not only succeeded but thrived under pressure. A shift in perception. As Sarah exited the chamber, she noticed a change in the atmosphere among her alien peers. No longer were they merely observers. They were genuinely impressed by what they had witnessed. Conversations buzzed around her about human capabilities and resilience. "Perhaps we underestimated them," one alien remarked quietly to another. Captain Krahan approached Sarah with newfound respect in his eyes. "Dr. Chen," he said earnestly, "your performance has challenged many of our preconceptions about humans." Sarah smiled at this acknowledgement. It was everything she had hoped for and more. "Thank you, Captain. But this is just the beginning." The endurance trials. Testing limits. The next phase involved endurance trials, tests designed to push Sarah's physical limits even further. The aliens had constructed an arena where she would face various challenges over an extended period without rest. As she entered the arena, Sarah felt a surge of determination coursing through her veins. She knew this would be tough, but also an opportunity to showcase human tenacity. "Let's see how long you can last," Zyla called out enthusiastically. The first challenge involved running laps around a track while carrying weights that increased every few minutes. As fatigue began to set in, Sarah pushed through each lap with sheer willpower. The aliens watched in awe as she maintained her pace despite exhaustion creeping in. They began to murmur amongst themselves about human stamina and grit. "Her body is adapting," one alien exclaimed incredulously as they observed Sarah's determination, shining through even when fatigue threatened to overwhelm her. A moment of doubt. However, halfway through the endurance trial, doubt crept into Sarah's mind. Her muscles burned with exertion. Every step felt heavier than the last. For a brief moment, she considered giving up, but then she remembered why she was here. Not just for herself, but for all humanity. Taking a deep breath, Sarah focused on her breathing and recalled all those moments back on Earth when she had faced challenges head-on. Moments filled with doubt, yet fueled by perseverance. With renewed energy surging through her body, she pushed forward once more, each lap becoming a testament to human resilience against all odds. A surprising revelation. As Sarah completed what felt like an impossible number of laps, Captain Crahun stepped forward once more, his mandibles clicking thoughtfully as he addressed his fellow researchers. "We have much to learn from this human," he said solemnly yet proudly. "Her spirit embodies resilience." At that moment, something shifted within Sarah, not just within herself, but also among her alien peers who were beginning to see humanity not as fragile beings, but as formidable survivors capable of overcoming immense challenges. Conclusion. A new dawn. By the end of this grueling day filled with trials that tested both body and mind, Sarah stood before her audience, a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration washing over her like waves crashing against rocks. "I hope you've learned something today," she said breathlessly yet confidently. "Humans may face challenges head-on because we thrive on pushing our limits." As applause erupted once more from her alien colleagues, now filled with genuine admiration rather than mere curiosity, Sarah realized that this journey had only just begun. Tomorrow promised even greater challenges ahead. A chance for humanity to showcase its true strength while forging bonds between species that transcended mere scientific inquiry. Little did they know that beyond physical strength lay another facet of humanity waiting to be revealed, a trait that would astonish them all when they least expected it. With thoughts swirling in anticipation for what lay ahead, Sarah left the arena feeling triumphant yet eager for whatever challenges awaited them next, a journey toward understanding that would change their perceptions forevermore. Unexpected results. The day had finally arrived. As the sun rose over the Curiosity, the ship's crew buzzed with excitement and anticipation for the next round of tests. Dr. Sarah Chen felt a mix of exhilaration and nervousness as she prepared for what lay ahead. Yesterday had been a remarkable success, but today promised to push the boundaries even further. She was ready to demonstrate the true strength of humanity, but she also sensed that her alien colleagues were in for an eye-opening experience. Preparing for the trials, in the recreational lounge, Sarah found Captain Crahun and the other scientists gathered around a holographic display, reviewing the new trial designs that had been proposed overnight. The atmosphere was charged with energy, and Sarah could see the eagerness in their eyes. "Dr. Chen," Crahun called out as he spotted her entering the room. "We've made some adjustments based on your insights from yesterday. I believe you will find them stimulating." A grin spread across Sarah's face. "I'm all for stimulating challenges. What do you have in mind?" Zyla floated closer, her tentacles writhing with enthusiasm. "We've designed a series of endurance trials that will test both your physical limits and your mental acuity under extreme conditions." "Sounds perfect," Sarah replied, her heart racing with excitement. "Let's show you what humans can really do." The first endurance challenge. The first challenge was set in an expansive arena filled with various obstacles designed to test agility, strength, and endurance. As Sarah entered the arena, She surveyed the course laid out before her. Steep inclines, swinging pendulums, and narrow beams awaited her. "Ready?" Krahan asked, his voice booming over the loudspeakers. "Absolutely," Sarah shouted back, adrenaline coursing through her veins. With a signal from Krahan, she launched herself into action. The first obstacle, a steep incline, required her to climb quickly while carrying a weighted pack. As she ascended, she could feel her muscles straining against the weight, but she pushed through, focusing on each step. The aliens watched in rapt attention as Sarah tackled each obstacle with determination and grace. She leaped over swinging pendulums and balanced on narrow beams with precision. The cheers from her alien colleagues echoed around her, fueling her resolve. Mental acuity under pressure. After completing the physical challenges, it was time for the mental acuity tests. The aliens had set up a series of puzzles that required quick thinking and problem-solving skills while under physical stress. As Sarah entered the next chamber, she was met with a series of holographic puzzles that lit up before her. Each puzzle was designed to test her cognitive abilities while she performed physical tasks simultaneously. "Begin," Krahan commanded. Sarah dove into the first puzzle, a complex arrangement of shapes that needed to be aligned correctly while balancing on a wobbling platform. The platform shifted beneath her feet as she worked to solve it, but she remained focused. With each completed puzzle, Sarah felt a surge of confidence. The aliens were visibly impressed. Their eyes widened as they observed her ability to think clearly under pressure. "Fascinating," Zyla exclaimed as Sarah solved yet another puzzle in record time. Her brain is adapting to the stress, pushing beyond limits. As the trials progressed, it became clear that Sarah was not just meeting expectations, she was exceeding them spectacularly. Each challenge seemed to invigorate her further rather than drain her energy. However, as she approached the final endurance challenge, a grueling obstacle course that combined both physical and mental tasks, Sarah knew this would be her greatest test yet. "Are you prepared for this last challenge?" Krahan asked, his tone serious but respectful. "I'm ready," Sarah replied confidently. The final course featured a series of demanding tasks. Climbing walls while solving riddles projected on screens above her head and navigating through a maze filled with distractions designed to throw off her focus. As she began the course, fatigue started to creep in after hours of exertion. Her muscles burned and sweat dripped down her brow. But just when she felt like giving in, an unexpected surge of determination kicked in, an instinctive drive that propelled her forward. The moment of truth. Halfway through the course, Sarah faced a particularly challenging wall climb while simultaneously answering a riddle displayed above her head. What has keys but can't open locks? With every ounce of strength left in her body, she scrambled up the wall while thinking through the riddle. "A piano," she shouted triumphantly just as she reached the top. The aliens erupted into applause. Their cheers echoed through the arena as they realized they were witnessing something extraordinary, human resilience at its finest. But then came a moment that would change everything. As Sarah descended from the wall onto a narrow beam leading to the next section of the course, she lost her footing and fell backward into a safety net below. Instead of panic setting in, Sarah laughed heartily as she landed safely on the soft surface below. "Well, that wasn't part of my plan," she called out jokingly to her audience. A new understanding. As Sarah climbed back up to continue the challenge, something shifted among her alien colleagues. They were no longer merely observers but active participants in this journey of discovery about human resilience. "Dr. Chen," Krahan said after she completed the final task with remarkable speed and precision, "you have shown us not only your physical capabilities, but also your mental fortitude." Sarah smiled at this acknowledgement. It was everything she had hoped for and more. "Thank you. But remember, this is just one side of humanity." Revealing human nature. As they gathered after completing all trials for debriefing, Sarah decided it was time to reveal another crucial aspect of humanity that often went unnoticed: emotional resilience. While we may be strong physically and mentally, she began earnestly addressing Krahan and his team. There's another element that defines us, our ability to connect with each other emotionally. The aliens listened intently as Sarah shared stories about human compassion and empathy, how these traits had allowed humanity to overcome adversity throughout history. Humans thrive not just on individual strength, but on our connections with one another, Sarah explained passionately. When we face challenges together, supporting each other, we become even stronger. Krahan nodded thoughtfully. His mandibles clicked softly as he absorbed this new information about humanity's emotional depth. A shift in perspective. By sharing this insight into human nature, the emotional resilience that complemented their physical prowess, Sarah noticed a remarkable change in how her alien colleagues viewed humanity. No longer were they simply subjects for study. They were beings capable of extraordinary strength, forged through connection and understanding. As discussions continued among them about potential future collaborations between species, research projects aimed at exploring these newfound insights, Sarah felt a warm sense of hope wash over her. This journey had transformed not only their understanding of human capabilities, but also fostered bonds between species that transcended mere scientific inquiry, a testament to what cooperation could achieve when faced with challenges together. Conclusion. A new dawn. As night fell over the Curiosity, Sarah reflected on how far they had come since their initial encounters filled with skepticism and laughter at human fragility. Now they stood united by mutual respect and curiosity, a new dawn for interspecies relationships born from understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses. Tomorrow promised even greater adventures ahead, a chance for humanity to showcase its true nature while forging bonds deeper than anyone could have anticipated when they first set foot aboard the ship together. With thoughts swirling in anticipation for what lay ahead, and knowing that there were still more surprises waiting just around the corner, Sarah smiled contentedly as she prepared for another day filled with discovery alongside her newfound friends among the stars.